Hello, everyone, and welcome to Paula's Soapbox Live and a pajama party of sorts. I have with me two women who I consider to be powerhouse women in the world of web serials. One is on The New Adventures of Peter and Wendy, and the other is in social media. Please welcome back to the show Paula Rhodes and Jayn.
Yeah, hi,
girls. Thanks for coming on.
So, and I was lucky enough to be in social media with Tara. She's the creator and
master. Yeah.
We conned her. It was amazing. I paid her in cookies.
You paid her in cookies.
Oh, God. I get the message asking me to.
Yeah. So since you brought that up, how did that get started? How did you, besides being bribed with cookies?
Oh, God, that's Omar's fault. Our writer, Omar Najam, he was in charge of writing the main villain for this series episodes, and he wrote in there that he wanted to be Paula Rhodes, and I was like, I don't think. I mean, she seems like a nice lady, but I doubt she's gonna want to do our little show. Like, I can ask. You write what you want. I told them in the beginning, like, write whatever you want, shoot for the moon, and then I'll pull you back. Just write something good. And
yeah.
I was like, I'll he knows, and she like amazingly agreed to do it. So we got very lucky, I feel.
Yeah.
Laura's just gonna continue making my life hell, I think.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's actually a lesson to all of us producers. All you gotta do is feed an actor's ego, write it in there that you want them, and oh my god, yeah, oh my god, thank you. I have to audition. Oh, I'm there. Yeah, like I'm gonna start doing that. I'll be like, oh, who's a really hot actor now? All my go-tos are now like getting older and/or in trouble with the law. Oh no. Well, not too hot. I'll be like, Julianne Moore playing my mother.
Yeah.
That would be good casting.
That would actually be a really good
That would be really good.
I don't think she's actually old enough to play my mother, but fresh over that.
Yeah.
Flashbacks. It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it could work. Yeah. And you were pregnant when you were playing the villain on social media.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Did that help, having the pregnancy hormones playing a villain?
Oh, I don't know if that helped or not. I was just thrilled that they were okay with it. Because when you do start to get larger, as one does when pregnant, the acting roles trickle off for a while. I get it. But when they'd written me about possibly doing the episodes, I was like, oh my god, wow, yay, awesome. Minor note, I haven't announced this yet, but I will be rather huge at that point. And they were wonderfully okay with that, and were like, great, we'll write it in, which was so supportive and fantastic, and I applaud you guys for that. So yeah, that was a thrill to be able to do it regardless, because you know what, it's not that abnormal. People are pregnant, it happens. I think it's weird to show it all.
I just decided I hate that, like, unless you have like an established character on a show like Phoebe on Friends, and I get you wouldn't want to make her pregnant again when she's having her second kid. Like, I hate that, like, we let pregnancy be a thing that eliminates a job for you.
Yeah.
Especially when there's no reason. Why can't the evil villain be pregnant? Like, there's nothing that says that you can't take over the world and be birthing a child later on that month. Yeah. They're just, there's no reason.
I was supposed to be on like modified bed rest, like not moving too much at that point. They were so nice to have me sitting down most of the time. But it was only interesting in that I was also shooting a feature film that Charlie and I wrote about and around the pregnancy. Amanda himself had written all of the action, like crazy running stuff and things from when I was in my 9th month. Let that be a lesson to all of you. Thinking to do that. Dumb idea. So I had to rewrite most of the stuff for sitting down or lying down at that point.
If I recall, we kept yelling at you to sit down.
It was, and so I did that whole month. It was hard to remember. until, you know, physically you start being like, oh, this hurt. I felt it.
Yeah.
We got him fully baked. He's here. He's safe. He's wonderful. He's adorable. He's not sleeping. Usually. He got off his schedule a bit. Now he's like, Grandma was here. I want to play. I don't know why my kid is.
Well, I actually have a clip of you on social media. So I'm going to try to play it. It's been a while since I've done this, and Google's changed some of their settings. So give me a minute, but I think I can get it to play. So you should be able to see and hear it.
Oh,
So.
My baby's yelling. He's going, I got.
He remembers that time as well.
It looks like Beatrix is going. Oh, Beatrix! That was a laugh. Is that too much? It's dope.
Yeah, it's super sick. Like, totally just the right amount of campy.
Okay, I don't want it to be over the top. It's good though?
Excellent.
Woo, okay.
Did you guys hear that okay?
Yeah.
Did I what? Yeah, totally. You're so cute.
Oh no, you're hysterical. I love that scene.
The whole show, I have to applaud you. It was a really fantastic use of the vlog style storytelling, and it's just such a cute story arc. The whole thing, the characters, you've done a wonderful job with it. I'm so proud.
Oh, thanks. That means a lot.
I love that you had the chair where you could just spin around, and
Oh,
Fabulous.
that was the perfect villain thing to do.
I just spin all the time anyway.
So let's talk
Okay.
about the new adventures of Peter and Wendy for a second. You produced the second season, right, Paula?
Yeah, I came on as an actor for the first season auditioning, and then fell in love with the team in the world, and offered my services, all of the producing hat too, and I was thrilled that they wanted me as part of the team. So now, yeah, it's Kyle Walters and Sean Deloach, the two creators, and then myself and Jenny Powell, who people know from Lizzie Bennett Diaries and like everything else that's ever been on the web. Lonely Girl.
is Jay involved in a web series?
Yeah. So it's such a fun team. It's good balance. We keep each other, we're good at catching each other's, if any of us needs a corner polished here, and there's just so much intelligence and kindness and genius involved on their levels. I'm just helping with the polish stuff. But it's fun. It's great to watch it come to life.
Yeah. So, and it's coming back this fall, right, for the third season?
Yes, we'll be filming, looks like in August, and I just got the first rendition of the script, so I'm very excited for that, to see what we can do. I mean, we're having to use a lot of creativity, as one does. We didn't get the budget we'd hoped for season 3, but we have some. We're definitely going to make the full arc, and in talks this week with something exciting, so we'll see how this goes.
Can you tell us anything about what's going to happen in season 3?
Well, it does follow the arc of the book, J.M. Barrie's book, Peter and Wendy, for the most part. It is modernization.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's got a lot of heart, and I'm very excited to see all the storylines tie up, if you will.
So this will be the last season, I'm assuming.
It'll be the last season. Now they're doing it in 3 arcs. And you know what? I'm really just impressed with how well the translation worked from page 2 to the vlog style.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be quite fun. Yeah, it's pulling favors, working magic like we do, but that's fun of it too. Yeah.
You guys do a really great job on that show, so I'm glad to see that it's been successful.
That's a team effort, and success is such a weird and hard thing to gauge in this particular medium, but I will say the fact that we have really lovely fans that are loyal and just smart and kind, that's, you can't do better than that. I do a number of things on the web that you get comments on that are just heartbreaking. Just, examples of the worst types of humanity. Moms, don't let your sons especially grow up to be horrible, horrible internet trolls, because what? I mean, honestly, should just be able to zap people through their keyboard for writing such awful things.
Like when they touch their keys, they get actually zapped. Like
right? That happened.
Electrically shocked.
Look, you're a bad human. So you're but Peter and Wendy fans and so many of the lit fans, lit series. What is the term? There's a term, right, for literary translation to web, and I'm brain out right now. I don't remember what it is. Oh,
the literary translation, the adaptations.
Adaptations, yeah.
Oh, that's the literary.
What is
I thought
it?
there was a new word. I thought there was like a new word that I wasn't aware of for like specifically.
But I don't remember it.
Adaptations, because there's so many of them now that like it deserves its own like its own category.
It is a genre. I forget the name of it because I'm tired. But there is one, and are mostly really well-read women, and or intelligent men too, and they're wonderful. They're so encouraging and beautiful, and when they do have ideas, the criticism, it's helpful criticism and creative, and it's, I don't know, they give me hope in humanity. So I hope that all of those people build the world up for the next generation.
Yeah.
As opposed to the big long trolls.
Right, exactly.
I kind of wonder if, because, I've noticed with our own show, I keep waiting for, the really horrible negative comments to come up, and it just really hasn't happened like it did with other stuff I've made. And I kind of wonder if it's because of the way that we've structured the show being somewhat of a vlog style, and as if these characters actually exist, that kind of lends people to be a little bit more kind, because now you're a real person instead of I'm making a video that's normal TV that you're used to.
About that, even when I host stuff, they just tear you apart personally. But I do think it's something to do with maybe the audience it attracts, being as they're not going to stay around for more than a second or two if they see it's actually intelligent. I don't know.
And there are no boobs.
Or adorable. Yeah, there's no boobs. And very little, meanness or snark. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's happened to just about everyone at some point or another. If you put yourself out there, there's always going to be someone who's going to try to knock you down to see if they can. So
unfortunate and a weird thing in this. A weirdly unique thing for this generation to have to deal with. As a parent now, I'm trying to figure out how I might help my son deal with that, navigate that world someday, and I have no idea. But other than be I will disown you if you become the troll. I don't know.
Yeah.
What actually motivates that horrible, heartless behavior to not realize that there's humans behind it.
Yeah. and not only teaching your kids not to be the troll, but teaching them how to handle it if something like that, if they get cyberbullied.
Right.
That's got to be tricky too.
Well, it's sticks and stones at a huge level.
Yeah. It's
as a kid, all the time. I was definitely not cool, and even as an adult, I've been mean girled as a 27-year-old adult. I've been mean girled. So it never really kind of stops. It just kind of has changed form. And maybe it's just a little more personal.
It's crazy to realize that that everybody has been bullied at some point. Even the people that other people thought were. I had an eye-opening experience later in college, getting to the point that people would be like, "Oh, you were popular," and I was like, "I thought I was the dorky people." Are you sure about that? So sometimes your perceptions of what you thought you were, there's always other people at other levels thinking you're something else. and maybe thinking you're the bully, or you know, like I hope I was never the bully to somebody, but you're always in that position, in that age range to have to worry about.
Yeah.
And now people are online where they're literally like, oh my God, they didn't like my picture. I should delete it. I didn't get 100 likes. I didn't, you know.
Right.
Add that into it? I don't envy that.
Yeah, no one liked my status on Facebook, so it must have been something bad, or it must have, not been funny or witty or whatever. Yeah, it kind of takes the self-doubt to a whole other level.
Yeah.
Especially for teenagers.
And that's level that we all kind of have.
I had to leave Facebook for a bit. For like 5 years, I wasn't on Facebook because I just found it so depressing. Like, it wasn't. Don't get mad at me, Mark Zuckermucker face. I just, like, every time I logged on, I, like, felt, I would scroll for an hour, which was the first thing. I was wasting so much time scrolling through the news feed, which is worse. I just recently joined again, and it's way worse. And I never walked away feeling better about life or my life or just in general. I actually just walked away feeling worse because either like sad dog stories, which was the worst thing. Like I would read a sad dog story and just cry and not be able to deal with the rest of the day. Or just, people like making this weird version of their life or political views or whatever. I just never could walk away from it and feel happy.
There's a lot of negative.
Yeah, I had to walk away. I like Instagram better, but I'm back on Facebook now because peer pressure is big.
I argue like no other two. I'll get sucked into those arguments being like, I feel the need to have to correct these misinformation right now. I need to send some facts their way real quick. I'll be right with you guys. It's just such a tough. But I do feel like a personal superhero crusader. Like I need to share the facts. What's wrong with you people? There's a naked baby over there. Oh my goodness.
Oh, baby. I'm gonna start fishing on poor Paula and start posting random stupid stuff that I know is not true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. I'm such a mean person. I totally did that to poor Brent and Kyle were posting snarky comments about Game of Thrones and lip gloss, and I was like, history of lip gloss, bitches. I'm a mean person who's obsessed with history. There's been lip gloss all along.
I want to look at their pages right now just to know. They're saying that there was gloss on the show, and they're like, what? Okay.
There was lip gloss in ancient Egypt. Get over it. It was tinted. God.
Also, minor detail. This is a fictional world. But whatever, there's dragons and zombies and stuff. So
Right.
And dang it, eyeshadow.
Well, Tara, you expanded social media for the first full season, and you explored the transmedia thing and everything. So, why did you think that it was important to do that with the show for the first full season?
It was always kind of the plan from the beginning. From the moment I read the tweets by Brian before he and I even actually knew each other, I envisioned it as a transmedia show, mostly because I had gone on this audition for Frankenstein MD and bombed because I didn't understand the style of it. But then after researching for the audition, like fell in love with the way they were storytelling, and I just thought it was so special and so unique that I immediately I wanted to do something like that. And then the tweets happened.
Did you audition for Frankenstein?
I had the monster or the girl? No, yeah, for the doctor. Did you?
Oh, cool, yeah. No, I didn't. But I knew Brett Register is one of my closest friends, the director of that. So and
no way! He'll tell you I was terrible.
as well.
bad.
So it's wonderful. So you, small world, web series world.
Yeah, it really is a small world. I got like in the middle of it, and like in the middle of the audition, I was like, oh, now I understand how this style works.
Yeah. Dang it.
Dang it. Moving on. So when we initially conceived the show, I already knew what I wanted the first season to somewhat be like. But I knew that I couldn't do it on what I had already. Like I didn't have a following. There's no way I could raise money. I didn't have a team of writers yet. I didn't have a production crew yet. Like I had some people I've worked with before, and like I knew that I had to build something first to show people what I was planning on doing, and then try and get somewhat of a following to show the potential of the show. So we just kind of started with nothing and filmed for like half a day, and my poor husband did a lot of the work, and we just filmed a basic like proof of content essentially, so that I could get everybody else signed on. So that's the reason why we did an origin story to begin with. And I tried to back up the plot line as far back as I could go logistically without running into too much like age issues, because I was already of a certain age. And then when we restarted up to do the season 1, we were able to finally like sit down and like really do the full transmedia treatment and get all the accounts going and kind of like get things rolling even before we launched, because we already had enough history working on to like kind of build a thing. So in the long run, I'm actually really glad that we did that, because it gave me a chance to like get everything set up and still have time to do it, because so much of it is like me sitting at a computer typing, unfortunately. Like I have a bunch of amazing interns who might be watching. If they're watching, hi guys! I miss them desperately. And I've got Brian who does all the writing for me, but like a lot of the times it's me like sitting there plugging away for hours, like trying to get all the content put together. So it's a huge undertaking when you do one.
So do you know if you're going to do another season?
I have no idea yet.
Yeah. Well, I know you decided not to do a crowdfunding for this next season. So why did you think that was a good idea to not do the?
A lot of reasons. I kind of feel like, from my perspective of it, that crowdfunding has hit this really difficult place where unless you're trying to like cure disease, or you have a kid who's sick, or you're making the next amazing adventure, it's so hard to fundraise. And it was already really hard the first time we did it, and it was 30 days of just exhaustion and stress levels, and it really is. And I cried a lot in those 30 days, and I at some point you kind of max out, and I would rather find another way to make it and not ask viewers to pay for it again in that form. So there's nothing wrong with it. For me, if there's another way to do it, I would prefer to. If there's only ever one season, then I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, there's only one season of Freaks and Geeks, and that show is brilliant. So
yeah, and everyone still talks about it. So
right. So for me, it was just like.
The thing about passion projects is you're either using it to be a calling card, and a ladder up to your next gigs.
Yeah.
Or you're doing it as a sustained thing, but it's more often the calling card, because it's very rare that you're going to make money off of that.
Yeah.
Even the biggest web series successes weren't money makers the first season. Mm-hmm. Usually weren't money makers the second season or into the third. But right.
So you guys just got done, right, Paula? You guys just got done with a fundraiser, and it seemed like it was really challenging. You still raised a lot of money, but
True. It was still pulling teeth, and it was timing was an issue for this particular one. I think had we done it right after season 2 had ended, you have that momentum. But we'd had so many close calls with really wonderful other options for funding that were coming in right then that we were going down those rabbit holes. And then when they didn't deliver for various many reasons, then we were stuck being like, well, we still got to make it, guys. Okay, you know what? Let's just make it. So that's the crowdfunding. But I've done the crowdfunding thing for multiple things. Even when it was first starting, we were one of the bigger, a big success. Stephanie Thorpe and I had one, but it's a beast. It's a beast. It's wonderful that we have that option. It makes sense when you have huge followings or a fandom to tap into, or like she said, like some cause that's going to pull those darn heartstrings like no other. But unless you plan, and it's hard to do this as an indie team, press accordingly. And our season 2 one, we'd had a whole press plan that I said we did, and I had different releases, different exclusives coming out each week, so that really helped drive it and keep the snowball rolling. So you have to get new eyeballs all the time. So unless you plot that out, which if you're just a few people, that is another job in itself. So yeah, it's a great utility to have. It's not an easy peasy walk in the thoughts.
Yeah, and it's hard to get the word out, I think, too, about crowdfunding. I mean, it's hard to get the word out about anything because there's so much out there.
There's definitely a saturation, for sure.
Yeah.
You can do it. You have to be creative. You have to find where your audience is looking. And you know what? People who write for various venues are just like the rest of us. You can reach out to them and befriend them and like their stuff and tell them how excited they are, and eventually those might pan out for them wanting to cover you for something, because they're people too, and so you recognize their art. I don't know. It gets appreciated as well. They're not, up in high towers. You can reach out to them too, which is kind of a wonderful thing about social media. The bad side being trolls, the good side being all these accessible people that weren't.
It's a great networking tool that, didn't exist for a long time, obviously, so.
And we too often don't realize that you can take advantage of it. Like, there's nothing stopping us right now from tweeting to Judd Apatow, he will probably see it. He may or not respond because he gets so many, but they're going to see it, So you get something that catches their eye enough. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe we become best friends. Could happen. Not hilarious. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I just want to play his
life. If you're watching, I would love to be best friends.
We should all be best friends.
Sarah Jayn, please message me, DMs. Cool.
I'll totally accept your following.
I'm waiting for following. Bated breath.
So Tara, you made an appearance on Classic Alice too, and since Paula appeared on social media, will you maybe be popping up on season 3 of Peter and Wendy?
Oh
God, I have no idea. That's
kind of plant that seed out there, and
Oh, man, I will tell you this: we have so many big dreams and so many people we want to include and stuff. If we'd gotten our full budget, it would be like extravaganza. We had like music videos we wanted to do. We had grand ideas. So we'll see what would actually end up popping in with our limited budget, limited time to finish the stories. But gosh, we want to include some of you guys that are all such talented people in this sphere.
It seems like because of the budget constraints, like you got to do what the most important thing for the show is, which is like wrap up the story in a good, like conclusive, like fulfilling way, and adding more characters would maybe possibly detract from that storyline at this point. So
no, heartbreaking. But the thing is, are gonna, we're all gonna work on other stuff too. This isn't like, and now we hang up our hat. So, we're not going away. Even after Peter Pan flies off to Neverland or whatever, like or I guess, well, technically our Neverland is where they say Ohio. Spoilers if you haven't watched the show. But yeah, we'll be working. I definitely look forward to working with Tara again.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was so fun having you play a villain on social media, and you could tell that the two of you had fun working together. So
They did a great set. Great team.
yeah.
Paula's brilliant. She's easy, easy.
We're just very
So-
small, so my trailer's going to be very small.
Yeah.
She fits in the closet. We just put her in there while we're waiting.
Yeah.
We decorate.
That's the advantage of being under 5'2". So believe me, I know. So Tara, you told your real life ghost story for one of your Indiegogo campaign benchmarks. So did that kind of help you, like having these experiences sort of inspire you when you started creating social media?
I think, well, probably, yeah. I would say, like, there's always been an interest in the supernatural and the occult in my family. There's more stories about the weirdities that I did as a child. And I think that's led to like a lifelong love of horror films and scary things. Like I'll sit at home at night when my husband's gone and watch a scary movie just to make myself feel a little bit scared. I know, Paul's face. Like, why would you do it? I like it. I don't know.
Tell us when you do. We'll prank you. Do you like to be scared and pranked?
I kind of do. Like, sometimes I'm like, ooh, a ghost situation. I could deal with that. And then sometimes I think, no, like, shut it out. I don't want to think like that. I mean, I watch like Ghost Adventures, and I've watched what's that? There's another one. I've watched every single ghost hunter reality TV show. I mean, partly because I was researching for the show, but I've been watching them for years already. Anyways, just kind of fascinated with it. And social media is actually like the third show I've created that has that bent to it of a ghost hunter. The one that finally actually got made. I've written like several of them at this point. And yeah, I think that although I am not buxom enough to be in a horror film, I do love. I feel like many of those films.
You're buxom, and then some. Do you know the guy, the casting director? Do you know the casting assistant at 200 South La Brea that is a ghost hunter, like an actual ghost hunter? Charlie, what's his name? The ghost hunter that is a casting assistant?
No, I gotta meet this person.
What is it? Jerry Buchan. He's a casting assistant at 200 South La Brea. You've probably seen him. And he's amazing. And he had something on his phone because he does actual ghost hunts. He played it for us of like this. They did like all-night recording at a super haunted place. And the recordings they got of like crazy doors slamming and like creepy sounds. It was like, I got chills. You should talk to him. And also, you know, casting assistant, so that helps.
Man, I'm so excited about
it. He's very serious about it. He is a pro at it.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, if you are into it.
Yeah, we were in the Waffle House, and I was so hoping that we would have extra time, idiot, at the end of filming to sit down and do an actual ghost hunt that night with a film crew because we had everybody there and everyone was pumped for it, but we just ran out of time.
Yeah. And to clarify, Waffle House is not a Waffle House where you order the pancakes. Not that sort of Waffle House. It is a medical museum that is haunted, where a female doctor named Dr. Waffle had owned the establishment prior.
Thank you, Wilhelmina Howell Waffle, but we call it the Waffle House.
Yeah.
Right. Because that not to be confused with the chain, the Waffle House.
Yeah, when we Google it, it's very hard.
Tara, I think that you need to tell us one of your ghost stories. You know, this is kind of like a pajama party thing, so.
not even like ghost stories. They're like, I'm a strange child. Ugh, no, I'm a strange child growing up. I have a bad, we'll just say it's a very vivid imagination as a child. Like, past life. Oh, God damn it. All right, so, if my mom's watching, she'll love this. Here, as a child, around the age that, like, language becomes pretty good, but like not awesome. I think this is like 3 or 4. I started talking about stories. Oh, Mom, in the last story, I was the mom and you were the kid. And I thought this time I would be the kid, so I decided to come back and be your kid. And my mom's like, okay, that's weird. And then, like, a little later, I'm like, oh, Mom, you know what? In the last story, I was an actor, and I really, really like that job. So I think in this story, I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do the same thing. My mom's like, oh, really? And at the time, we lived out in the country, and, like, there was nothing around. Like, I'd never been to the theater. Like, this was a whole entire weird thing that this child's coming with. My mom asked me, so what's it like being an actor? And she said that I could describe in perfect clarity what the backstage area was like, what the lights were like, what my life was like. And oh, Mom, in the last what? I don't know. I don't really remember. I wish we had better detailing. Oh, Mom, in the last story, I had 10 children. Did you know this, Mom? I had 10. I'm going to name my cat after one of them. And then one day it stopped happening. It's creepy.
It's a little weird.
Yeah. That's why I don't really want to have kids, because I'm terrified they're going to pull that on me.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to say, oh, Mom, in the last story, I was a cat.
Right. Yeah.
Now.
That's cool. Yes, I enjoy that stuff.
Oh, boy.
So, Tara, you did a contest last year for season 2. You know, and obviously you don't know if you're going to film a season 2, but you did a contest for fans to create some fan fiction. Mm-hmm. So, did you receive anything that you might be able to use for season 2?
We did. We actually got a lot of good stuff. None of which I'm going to actually tell you about, because if we do a season 2, I don't want it to be known. Yeah, but yeah, no, like, we got so much great, and fans are awesome. They make fan artwork. It's so cool. Like, it's amazing. What?
And puppets?
Puppets.
Oh, Puffet. It's so cool. Like, it's so much more fun. No one's made me a puppet yet. Like,
oh,
not a puppet.
You just gotta hit Katie Kempshire, because she's the talent behind those. But speaking of fans and our 2 shows, guys, if you're at VidCon, we have decided we are doing a great fan webnick, and I'll be announcing it shortly and sending out stuff to share. But Social Medium and New Peter Wendy are 2 of the shows included. There are quite a few others we're going to announce soon, but if you guys are at VidCon, you'll be sure to, on Saturday, you can come have lunch with us and say hi and play the great hug off, and otherwise do things.
Very cool.
There's some cool shows too. We're excited. I'll be excited to share the other ones that are going to be partaking.
Are there new ones?
Some from long ago.
Oh no! Get out! I'm excited about
that. So, Paula, you're doing something called casting doubt. So explain to people what that is and how you kind of came up with that idea.
Well, it's just a side project, fun for me. So actors have either Charlie, either have agents and/or have agents that submit them on breakdowns, which are online list that comes out every day now, Monday to Friday mostly. But they can also submit themselves on some of them, which we have access to on Actors Access. And it's no secret that the female breakdowns, the characters that are out there, are usually lacking in awesome compared to some of the gents. So after getting frustrated with the multitude of just ridiculous, like, she better be an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10. Like, all it was hot, 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 how great their legs were, how tall they had to be,
But no pay.
what their body size was.
No pay, though.
No.
And names only.
No. Some of them, no pay, or names, yeah. But, I mean, some of them pay, but it was, and I usually only look at the paid ones, so I was down even further to get less of the riffraff, and those are still ridiculous. So after a while, I was like, this is hilarious. What if I just made, like, a show about how stupid these are, because every day I go through this. And so once a week or so, I'll do a little, I need to do it for a while, a little compilation of myself submitting on these things. And I think I'm going to start having guests in to compare, because the roles that, like, Charlie submits for, or some of my friends of various nationalities and things, they are varying degrees of worse and better. So I think it would be interesting. About the same day that I came out with it or launched it, they had a big, was it Fem Script Intros, went pretty big on Twitter, and like NPR did a thing on them and stuff, and I was like, oh, Kismet, maybe I can jump on this wave. And I tried to, share in that fun. But I don't know if I got too far, but I'm glad that some people are watching.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Well, I watched some of it. It's really fun.
Thank you. It's like therapy in a way to get back at the people and things like, we just need some naked ladies for an orgy scene, guys. It'll be totally fun. We'll give you pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Tell me that's real.
Oh, that was real. That was real. There's just so many amazing opportunities for all those years of training.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of them were like cutoff age 27, cutoff height over 5'7", under 100 pounds. Like, very specific. Where I'm like, why does the lawyer need these specific dimensions?
Yeah.
I don't know. We've still got a little ways to go in inequality, so the feminist in me does come out there. But it's comedy meets therapy meets little eye-opening peek into the world of acting.
Yeah, and that's important that you said that these things are actually real and they're not something that you scripted and made up. That's actually how it is.
I don't need to script them. They write themselves every single day. Go on now and read some out loud. They would be just as bad.
Yeah. So, Tara, what is getting crafty with Maggie and Maude?
Oh my God, that's right. So I started making YouTube content in 2007, back when it was my career to have a YouTube show. And my writing partner and I have been making ridiculous sketches for ourselves forever now. And one of them is about these two women in Wisconsin who have a crafting show on YouTube. And they like to do the DIY thing. They want to help you be crafty and make more crafty things. We've only done one so far. I have no idea if it will ever become something, but just keep making stuff, right?
Yeah, well, everybody needs macrame in their lives.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but you gotta have a cocktail first, because cocktails make it a little craftier.
That's true.
It's true. So I don't know. I actually, like, my whole channel of content, I temporarily have not taken down, but I've kind of hidden for the time being. There's just a lot of old stuff, and like if you ever make something and then like 10 years later go back and watch it, you think to yourself, good God, what was I thinking? But at the time, you're like, I made a thing! It is awesome!
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's out there right now, because I may have hidden it, along with, like, You Are the Resistance and Joining the Union and a whole plethora. We made like 60 videos worth of content back then.
Yeah. Well, Maggie and Maude was still out there as of a couple of days ago because I watched some of it. So, yeah. Haven't hidden that one yet. So, everybody watching, there's still time to go watch that one before she hides it. So.
Before I hide it.
Well, you're,
Yeah,
you're crafty in
funny
your real
to
life
think-
too.
It's funny to think that there will be people actually, like teens now that are kind of diarying, blogging their life, that they're going to be applying for jobs in a few years, and that's all going to be out there.
Yeah.
It
It doesn't go away. So.
Not recorded.
Yes. I mean, there's a scene of me in a swimsuit washing a car that is very embarrassing.
Damn straight. Yeah,
It pops right up. It is not flattering on purpose. Oh, there's a video of me shucking corn in a bikini. That's way worse. Not flattering, but it's funny.
Well, I'm pretty sure commercials in the early 2000s of like, we just want you girls to be in bikinis bouncing on these bouncy balls.
Yeah.
And there's that moment of you being like, but I have integrity.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, fine. Yeah, it'll be.
Yeah. Well, both the
Yeah,
new
New York
both the new adventures of Peter and Wendy and Social Medium are making bids for Emmys. It's opened up to the web series world. So what changed with the Emmys that you can now submit yourselves for that?
Well, they have had a category for a number of years. You had Lizzie Bennett Diaries, Jenny Powell, one of our producers, won for that for transmedia. It's been around for a little while, but that recognized more the transmedia aspect of the online storytelling. So in recent years you had like NASA winning it, along with a guy who walked across the Grand Canyon on a tightrope with GoPros all over. So the competition got a little stiffer. But now they opened it up to short form content, so short form media, which is what we are, and it's wonderful to get recognition. I won't say that they've necessarily taken into account the short form budgets, because they are still charging what they would charge the TV people to submit per category and per if you want to be included in screeners and stuff. So that's limiting, I think, who they're going to get submissions from. Which maybe is the idea. But, yeah, it's great that they're actually, opening it up.
It's actually interesting because you and I actually have very similar shows, but we've actually submitted into different categories. Peter and Wendy is going for short form, and we're going for interactive new media, or outstanding achievement in interactive media original content. So, like, it's interesting in that, like, we have a similar show style and that we still fit both these categories because the web is still such a wild west. Like, we don't have good words yet for these
things.
What
some people might not realize is it's not just everybody's considered and they're picking the best of the best from all these things. It's literally like, who paid us to be considered for this category and this category? You have to pay to be considered in each little niche. So, so even if you think you could fit multiple ones, unless you can afford to submit across those, it's that is, I think, a hurdle that one day we'll have to get addressed for them. But yeah, it is crazy that there are so many categories. And I think a couple years ago, we went and saw the one with the NASA people and their submissions and stuff, and it was like, oh, I'm sorry, astronauts are competing now? Yeah, I'm out. I'm interested.
But I mean, I am dying to find out. I've been searching everywhere to figure out who is submitted to what category, just because I'm curious about what we're all doing as web content creators, because it's just such a weird thing now. Like, there's a show, I met a girl yesterday, and her whole show is going to exist on Instagram. Like, it hasn't even started yet, but the whole entire show, all the content, all the videos are just Instagram. You can do that. So
yeah, I have watched some that were Vine series, which is weird when I judge shows. I'm like, you're doing like seconds. All right, let's see your story.
Vine is like 6 seconds, isn't it?
I know, it's not.
It's a feeling to do that.
Yeah, but it's fascinating. I think, what is it, June 13th or something? They'll start judging period, or so. I think that's when we'll start to see more of the effort put behind a lot of the. We'll start to see little friends pop up with their campaign. But it looks like most of them, because of the extreme cost, are going to be limited in what they promote up until the.
We started early because I was like, oh my God, there's gonna be so many people in our category. Oh, I haven't seen anybody.
Yeah.
So far,
It's smart. It's smart to get a job.
So are you submitting like different actors for Emmys or just the show or?
You do have to pay per actor category as well, like hundreds of dollars.
Well, of course.
Yeah. We've submitted some, and I think you guys have one, right? That you're doing your promoting.
we did Brent. We're doing James Brent Isaacs. We because of financial reasons, we had to pick one person, and I would love to submit myself, but when watching the show, I felt very strongly that Brent, of all of us, really nailed the style the best and clearly presented what the show is about as an actor and like what we're doing. And so therefore, Brent, you're it.
Yeah.
But you guys,
Yes.
you and Kyle, right, Paula?
Yeah, I do believe. You know what? I am actually, full disclosure, I'm not in charge of submitting that because I don't have the experience, and Kyle, is the design pro, so they're mostly spearheading all of that stuff. So I would hate to give wrong information there, but I know we are submitting some actors. That was all that I know. But I know it's not all of them, unfortunately. I'd love for it to be all of them. They're so freaking talented. I love working with that whole crew. So, but
Yeah.
I assume it's, Peter and Wendy. I have no idea.
I don't know. You know what? One of us to be like, oh, Jim Beaver, people know him. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I have a hunch, but I'd hate to say it wrong. So, and I had a glass of wine.
There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of rules about this kind of stuff, which I have found out.
The statue.
from cautionary emails from Paula.
I was paying attention to what he's saying from her stuff of what couldn't be done, and I was like, wait, is that one of the things that can't be done? Hold on, just in case you get in trouble and Sharon.
I have called the poor people of the Emmys more times than they want to admit. We're all on first name basis now. I feel so bad. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this a part of the rule? There's just so many rules that you're really, for me at least, it was really jumping out into the deep end and going, God, I really hope I learned how to swim because I could mess this up and we just get disqualified. Who knows? So far so good.
So is there anything that your fans can do through social media to kind of help get these shows noticed by the Emmy committee?
Yeah, share the heck out of it. I mean, I think both shows, I know Social Media already has some awesome shareables out there, some pictures with the for your consideration hashtags and things attached, and New Peter Wendy will have some shortly. I think we're going to do it right before voting starts, probably. Just schedule-wise, we're slammed in pre-production. But I mostly mean Kyle because he's doing the designing of those. So yes, anytime you see those, if you guys want to share them across any networks, retweet them, quote them, that helps. That helps get eyes. You never know who is a voter, but if you know a voter, or 5 or 10, and you have blackmail on them, encourage them to watch it because I know a lot of them, it's overwhelming as a voter. The ones I do know, they're already getting, hundreds of DVDs and screeners and events to go to watch TV and things to vote on those. So adding a whole nother category with all of these online things to watch too, most of them are going to be like, oh, the hell I'm going to watch that. They're going to skip category or they're going to vote on if they recognize anybody. So if we can get in there with some name recognition of recognize me, then that could help. So as in any election, America, voters are often a little bit lazy and or overwhelmed with issues. So you got to take advantage of that name recognition.
Yeah. Well, it's terribly. to be a part of the screener process is also another expense that is
Thousands upon thousands.
out of the budget with which we all work. Like, luckily for interactive new media, it's not even an option. Yeah, but like for you guys, like I remember looking at the money and the stuff. I was like, man, that is woof. And like it
more than one episode costs to be included in a link for them, and many times over if you want DVDs to be sent out. You know, plus you're paying for the DVD for thousands of them.
It's just such a crazy expense that, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like the grassroots way is what we've got, and what we really need is, you know, fan support to show love of show. Oh.
But if there's like Emmy voters meeting somewhere, or you know, someone's got like I'm an Emmy voter tattooed on them on the street, and you just want to stop them and tell them, like, you never know who could be. Surprisingly, a lot of people I've run into, like if they're involved in shows ever, a lot of times they just have been. I don't know. Find them.
Find them.
Stop them.
Well, and I do know. I remember when the web content, the new short form stuff first happened. There was some information from the Emmys specifically saying, "Hey guys, if you like a show, tweet to us about your web show." So they are paying attention. Like they are checking the Twitter account, and they are involved in, like, you know, monitoring their Instagrams and what. So it may feel like it's not amounting to anything, but it is, because when you
you can tag this show with, you know, at the Emmys. I think you'll see it, the official one that pops up. You know, discussing the new media categories that have opened up, and the short form categories.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing, and this is, as everybody's finally noting, where storytelling is going right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything from Netflix and the Amazon and the Hulu and other networks you've never heard of that are making amazing content. I mean, the number of Amazon's doing alone is like, are you kidding? That's wow. I got to do a Amazon show, The Kicks, recently. That'll be out this summer.
I noticed that.
That's
awesome. It was great. Like, it's technically a web series, right? Because it's all on web, and you can watch it on your Apple TV or something, but it's a legit TV show with a huge budget and a fantastic cast and a lovely story. So I love that it's getting legitimized across the board now, and now getting recognized by a really wonderful establishment. So come on, Emmys. I bet those astronauts will win, though, man. Those astronauts.
Oh, man, those astronauts.
Well, ladies, I think that we've pretty much covered everything, unless you have something that you would like to add before we go.
No. It was good to see both of you. I look forward to seeing you soon. And thank you, Paula, for setting this up.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we could get everyone's schedules, you know, synchronized.
I'm so sorry. I got asked to do a Fringe show last minute, and so there's all this. The LA Fringe Festival is nuts with the theater schedule, so it's like.
Yeah. No, it was no problem to reschedule or anything. I'm just glad that we were able to do it. So.
Oh, cool. But hey, if you're in LA, come out and see Serial Killers doing a Fringe Festival show at Sacred Fools on Sunday.
Cool.
I'm gonna be cute.
Okay, well, good night, ladies. You have a good rest of the night. So,
Paula, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.